Hey y'all, I wanted to just do a quick show and tell, really. Haven't been around in a while. Life's gotten really busy and I've completed a junk journal. Yay! Something that's been on my to-do list for months. I started it months ago and I just now finished. This is my Everything's Better with Butter journal because for as long as I can remember, I don't know, I've always said everything's better with butter. My kids agree. My youngest one would even ask for butter just to eat. She loved butter so much. Maybe it's a problem. I don't know. We love butter at our house. Anyway, earlier this year, I stumbled upon some unused butter box containers, and I think they're from the 50s. Not really sure. Looking at the the graphics, that's what I would guess. Maybe early 60s. Anyway, I fell in love with them. So what I decided to do is use the entire box, and I'll show you what parts I use to make tags and things like that. But, you know, butter boxes have a coating, a wax coating on them, so you can't glue. This is not something you can glue, so I definitely did the sewing here and added cardstock to make it more of a square shape. I also left it open here, so this is actually, which I don't have a tag here. These are actually pockets in the front and the back, but I haven't put anything in it yet. So because everything's better with butter, I wanted to create a journal. To me, what that means is the good stuff, my favorite things. I love butter. It's one of my favorite foods. So I wanted to collect all my favorite quotes and things that make me happy, including some of my favorite ephemera that I don't want to use other places. So that's what I did. So I haven't really worked in it yet, so you get to see it kind of raw finished. I have a few quotes in here, but not very many. This is a pen that I got at a estate sale that I did that. I scraped all that paint off when I was putting it in because it was a pen, you know, that has the backing on it. So it was, well, I'll just say that I had some trouble getting that to be my little hitch post, but that's okay. I love it, and that's part of the story, right? Is I did that when I was making my Everything's Better with Butter book. So I use lots of trims, some of my favorite trims, vintage fabrics, including the pockets I made out of vintage fabrics, and I've collected vintage fabrics for, I don't know, years. I mean, well, as an adult, over 20 years, and I had stuff when I was a kid too that I would pick up and just had no need for, but I just loved. Anyway, so here's where I'm putting some of my ephemera that I love that I'm eventually going to put in here once I start writing more quotes. So like just to show you the little pocket. So see, there's a pocket on the front, which actually I might do that. I might put the little milk cap there. I don't know. Yeah, so just my favorite things, and red happens to be my favorite color, red and pink. So that's another reason why when I saw this, I just went with red. I also used all the yellows and blues, and it kind of has a country farm feel too. I have a huge love for agriculture, and we've been really active in the grass-fed industry over the years too. We've raised our own dairy animals and meat and vegetables over the years, although I do better at raising like milking and cheese making than I do at gardening because I'm just not very good at it. Anyway, so so one of the things I did here was I have lots of vintage buttons that I collect, and so I just sewed a button on this vintage fabric, which, by the way, I think this is from the 60s. I found it in a estate sale, and it was actual curtains that had never been hung. She had all the, it was really cool. It was in a bag, and you could tell she was, maybe she changed her mind. I don't know, or maybe she made extras. I don't know. Who knows? It's a mystery, but they were never hung. She just had the things to hang them in the bag with the sewn curtains, window treatments. And so this is new fabric. I was so excited. Isn't that adorable? Love it. Anyway, I sewed a button on there, and I decided to make that a place where I can hang quotes, like stuff I'm gonna change this out according to my whim, you know. And so I made the fabric, sewed it to a piece of paper, and just made it a pocket. And here's another side of that box, the other side of the butter box. I made a tag. I put tracing paper. No, this is pattern paper, actually. Pattern making paper on the back of that. But I mean, yeah, you could use anything, obviously. But again, this is waxed, so in order for me to be able to use it, I had to sew it on, and I had to sew on something that I could write. And then this is also meaningful to me, and I share this mainly, hopefully this inspires you to take some of your favorite things, things that make you happy, things that hold happy memories for you. You'll see this fabric throughout here too. I'm using it for tags and stuff. And here, let me get it. It's right here on my table. This is one of my favorite tea towels. I know this is kind of silly. Here, I'll put it this way. But again, it makes me happy. This is one of my favorite tea towels. I've had this tea towel since pretty much as a newlywed, which I will be married 26 years later this week. So it has definitely seen a lot of wear. It dried a lot of dishes as we raised our 4 kids. Lots of holes. I've already ripped up the worst of it. This actually is intact. But to me, this holds the memories of raising my kiddos and all the hard work that goes into raising kids, including dishes. It's also my favorite color. I mean, there's just, when I look at this, it just makes my heart full. So there's no way I could get rid of it. It was so holy, y'all. I couldn't even use it for drying dishes anymore. So I've put this in my stash, and I just use it periodically for different things. And so in this book, I actually used it on some of my tags, and I think other places. I can't remember now, but we'll see. So I used, for the most part, this stuff has come from estate sales, resale shops, or just out of my own stash that I've had a long time, or art supplies that I have. So this is mulberry paper that I've had. The scrapbooking paper also came from resale shops. So I do have some of that in here that I'm going to eventually, again, put quotes on. Oh, this is new. These bags I got at Daiso, the Japanese dollar store. But I really try not to buy new stuff unless I just fall in love with it, because 1, I already have a lot of stuff that I've collected, and 2, I find the coolest stuff that's used, and I don't know, that part makes me happy. So these are paint samples that I got at a resale shop, actually. It was a whole stack of them. And then I just made a pocket. I don't have anything in it yet, but pocket page. I don't know, can you see that? Pocket. And then vintage book pages. Again, I kind of stuck with agriculture and stuff for the most part. Another little pocket. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. I'm trying to make sure I'm in frame. Okay. The other side of that mulberry paper. And then another quote that I just added quickly. Let your past make you better, not bitter. I just like that quote. Vintage trim. I've had that a long time, but I actually found that it was new, in stock that had never been sold before. Here's the other side of that fabric. Another piece of vintage ephemera that I just love. It's a postcard, a 1-cent postcard. So I'll use that to put my favorite quotes on and journal. And another tag that I hung on a button on the other side, but I haven't put anything on it yet. A Dr. Seuss quote. Do y'all like this quote too? Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. I love that quote. More vintage book pages. Some little tags. And the other thing that makes me happy too, I'm a hand spinner, and I have little bits and bobs of yarns, just like little samples, little pieces that I've spun over the last, I don't know, 8 years or 10 years or so. And they're not really, they're perfect for I use them for gift wrapping and whatever, and so that they're in here too. This came from a 50s era book list magazine, I think. It has some cool ads and stuff in it. And then a vintage card that I love. Some vintage fabric. I think this is from the 40s. Little scrap that I made a pocket. And again, just trims that I love and that make me happy. And all I did here is I put some Japanese paper, calligraphy paper, over the matte pages on one side. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this side yet, but something. You know how that is, right? Another, I actually sewed this together. This is I think it's a pocket unless it got glued together. Oh, I wonder if it kind of got stuck. I think it's a little stuck. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it right now, but this vintage paper I did reinforce because it was so fragile. Another part of that book magazine. This is from the Steck Company in Austin, Texas. I wonder if they're still around. I'm in Austin area. Just now noticed that. And here's a heart tag that my friend Carla sent me that I'm going to use in here. And then this is just a little pocket too that I can stick something in. Another pocket, another tag. And I made this super chunky, more vintage paper from a stamp collecting book. This is a pocket for coffee dyed, am I in frame? I can't tell. Coffee dyed tag. Oh wait, so I did something funky here. Oh yeah, I folded it out, okay. Okay, so I made a double, whatever, triple fold out here with use some of my tea towel to make a little pull tab. That's a pull tab, right? Shorthand book page. So I made this chunky monkey on purpose, but I also left, I mean, it's chunky, y'all, but I actually have some room. I left some room in between each signature. So, and if it totally bulges out, I don't care. And like the way it hung out, I don't care because I'm going to have other things that hang out. That's what I like. And for this one, I just wanted it to be kind of messy because, you know, that's how life is. At least for me. I'm assuming it's messy for y'all too. Everybody I've ever known, it's messy. It's good, but it's messy, right? Some more, what is this? Scrapbook paper. So this calligraphy paper, y'all, this is Japanese calligraphy paper. I also got it at Daiso, Japanese dollar store. It's super fun. It's really strong. It's similar in feel, I guess, to mulberry paper, but different. But it has, like, the weight is similar. That's a pocket. Vintage cookbook page. And this is an ad. I laughed. I laughed out loud at this because I have lots of vintage magazines and stuff that I pick up, and this is a Life magazine from the month and year my husband was born. And it's, you know, do you remember, in fact, maybe they're still around, Columbia Record Club? Do y'all remember that? Anybody my age, where you paid a certain amount and then they would deliver you tapes or whatever. Records. Let's see, this is in the 60s, so this would have been records. Yep. So you got 9 records for $4.95, plus you get a record rack for free. Anyway, this was it was delicate, kind of, from the magazine, but it also had a perforation right there, so I reinforced it so it wouldn't tear. Yep. More of that vintage cookbook pages. The other side of that Life magazine ad. So this was obviously if you want to subscribe to Life magazine. It's one of those little card inserts. Okay, I'll try to speed this up so it's not totally boring. Some more vintage fabric. This came off of a little girl's dress that was in not very good shape, so I just ripped up. Oh, I forgot. This is a triple fold out thing too. On some scrapbook paper that I got from the resale shop. Music paper that I made into a pocket. Here's another tag from the butter box. So this was the, you know, the top of it. The top. Where it closes down like that. So I just opened it up and added a hole and did the same thing that I did on the other tag, and sewed on some paper so I could journal on it and add my favorite sayings, quotes. This is one of the places we buy our vegetables here in the Austin area. And more of that shorthand book, recipe book. And then again, some more vintage book, children's book pages. This is about dairying, which I thought was very appropriate for this book. Look, there's butter. Some ephemera that I love. These are vintage price tags. 1 cent. Can we buy anything for a penny? I don't think so. If there is, and I don't know, tell me. I haven't seen anything for 1 penny, y'all. Is there still 1 penny gumball machines? I don't know. Does that still exist? Maybe it does. So maybe we can still get a ball of gum. Ball of gum, whatever. Okay, so this is just the other side of the same thing. This is the flyer from JB Organics where we get our vegetables. So I just cut it and put it in here because to me that's part of what makes me happy, is getting yummy fresh vegetables from my local farmer. A tag from my precious friend Carla. And I have other stuff of hers that I'm going to be using in here too because it just fits. Another piece of my vintage fabric. Some watercolor paper things that I have lying around when I'm just playing. Which, that's really the perfect thing to do when you're just playing around, to save those and stick them in your junk journals when you have no, rhyme or reason for them. So this was a map page too, and I just put some painty paint on it just to prep it, and this also has some of that Japanese calligraphy paper on it, but then this one's at least kind of prepped for whatever I'm going to do to it. I don't know. This is a paper sample out of the resale shop. Other side of the paper sample. This is a really cool paper too. It has slight texture and it's my favorite color. So it's an awesome piece that had to go in here for me. So this is a tuck spot too. Let's see. Just tuck it like that. Beatrix Potter pages. I love Beatrix Potter, so I have a few in here. Another pocket page made out of that Japanese paper. Vintage book page. I love brown paper. Do y'all love brown paper? I don't know, I have this thing about brown paper. And this Greyhound Van Lines was on the back of a little chest of drawers that I bought recently at an estate sale to go in my arty room. And I was painting it and saw it on the back and popped it off. And kept it because I liked that it had a moving van sticker on it. I don't know, I just thought it was cute. And that goes into my, it makes me happy, so it went into this journal. Some more little pockets. Lots of pockets in this one. More vintage book pages. More cookbook. More Beatrix Potter. Another pocket. This is vintage fabric too that I really love. Vintage dictionary. This came from a hot point oven. I think this is where you had to mail it in to get your Oh no, this is a supplement for your use and care book that came with your oven range. So it's actually made out of cardstock, so I decided to make it into a pocket. Now I want to show you this tag, and I'm sure other people have done this. I don't know. I just decided, for me, I've never made a tag like this, so I thought I'd share it in case you haven't either. So this tag was a short tag. See the pink and red, the short, and ends right about there. It was like a perfect, it was a square tag, right? And I didn't want a square tag. This is a pre-printed tag from some paper kit that I found at a resale shop. I wanted a longer tag so I'd have more space to write. So I sewed on a piece of coordinating fabric. I mean, not fabric. It is a fabric print though, isn't it? Coordinating, I can't get this out. Coordinating paper. It made a little pocket. I just sewed, this is folded on the bottom, and then I sewed up the side and across to attach it, and then I took the leftover, made a little slip of paper that I can actually put a quote on and stick it in there and write, you know, wherever. I'll probably attach stuff to the front and the back. Some more out of that. Oh, it's the Horn Book magazine. See, now you get to see what it is. The Horn Book magazine. And it was basically publishing all about the best of the newest children's books. That's what this magazine is. It's from 1953. That bag. I love those little bags. I love this picture. Isn't this cute? All these critters. Oh, sorry. I'm not in frame. Of course, it has a cow in it because this is a butter book. Okay, and I think this is the last tag I made out of the butter box. So this is the other end of the butter box. I didn't keep the flap for some reason. I can't remember now why. I think it was just too far gone. So I decided to cut it off. And I made this one square with the same paper on the back to journal on. Okay, that's not going to go in easily right now, of course. So I did a lot of fold outs. I did a lot of, I don't know, I like to kind of leave stuff plain so I can, whenever I feel like it, I can go in and do what I want to do instead of making the decision ahead of time, so to speak. Another tag on the other end of that range card that tells you all the features of your new oven. This is another pocket. This is a old, I think it's from the early 70s, because I'm pretty sure one of my birthday parties I had something similar to this. Party table cover paper. And I just used a piece of it to help reinforce this. This is kind of fragile paper, so I reinforced it with several layers of things. Green graph paper, some more of that JB Organic stuff. Vintage Sorry card. I love these vintage Sorry cards. I think they're so cute. Another one of those price tags. This is 2 cents. Milk. Of course, we have more dairy in here. Some more of the paint chips. You know, if you can find these. Oh. I'm so sorry. Did that make you dizzy? If you can find these, I mean, I don't think we should go and like pick up stuff at Home Depot per se, but I find these a lot of times at resale shops and just stuff. I don't know. I love them. These are more like, these are the sheets though that you cut apart. I don't know if you've seen those before, but I love them because I cut them down to be the size that I want. Some more vintage book pages. It's a fold out, again from the vintage children's book on dairying. Well, it wasn't on dairying, children's book, and it had a dairying section. So this is in a little encyclopedia book thing. So normally when I'm wanting to do a lot of writing and stuff, I prefer my books to lie flat, just my preference. But this one, I really don't care. I mean, I really wanted this to be kind of messy, and I wanted it to be chunky and, you know, just full. Some more vintage ephemera. Another heart from my friend Carla. And again, I just made another fabric pocket. This is vintage seam binding, which I love finding vintage seam binding. It's my favorite. And there's the back. So I could stick something in there like that. I'm not sure how I'm going to use these pockets. I debated whether I should go ahead and like sew them up and just close up that right there since I was sewing it to the cardstock, but I decided to leave it open. So I could slip something in there, you know. I don't know. I may want to slip a certain quote that I just want to see when I, you know, pick up my book. I don't know. Anyway, if you're still here and you've watched the entire thing, thank you so much. I hope something about this inspires you to go make something for yourself, and something to make you happy and to give you some joy. Thanks for watching.